Hey there, Coastal Bend. This is meteorologist Carly Smith. We are live and we are going to talk about the cold front that's on the way. So, in your weather impact headlines, it is hot and humid. That air is going to keep moving in ahead of the front. So, that's that southeast air that's going to keep moving in. The cold front arrives Friday night, and then we'll see thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday morning. Finally, a little cooler as we're headed into the weekend. In your weather impact headlines, Hey there, your current time is 10:09. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. We've gone to this live update to go over. This is looking ahead to Friday. We'll look a little bit at the chance for a few storms today, but we are looking ahead to Friday and we are getting ready for this change in our weather pattern. What do you think about it? There is a cold front, but it's not going to be that strong. We're talking maybe a 5 degree or so, 4 to 5 degree temperature difference, maybe up to 10 degrees in some spots. But air temperatures will be in the mid to low 80s as we head into the weekend, which is a huge bonus because our normal high is 85 this time of year. So anytime in May we can get below that normal high, I consider that a win in my book. It seems like we're above normal the majority of the time here lately heading into the summer. So what you need to know for the next 3 days is thunderstorms are going to move east to west and then likely will weaken as they move into the area tonight. Kind of similar to last night, we saw that one isolated storm into northern B County. A similar possibility is possible. A similar scenario is possible later on tonight. Then a line of thunderstorms will move in with a cold front, that front moving north to south, but the storms actually are going to still move a little bit east to or west to east. That's backwards. I have that backwards. I have direction dyslexia. Thursday should say PM storms move west to east and weaken. Then Friday is right, north to south. However, we will see still a west to east motion in those storms as they are traveling along the front. Finally, we've got scattered storms mostly across the southern half of the coastal bend as we head into Saturday. So let's break this down now. Y'all here, if anyone is watching on YouTube, hello, thank you for watching. That is where I'm looking for any comments today. So if you comment on YouTube today, I will see it. If it is live, right now it is 10:11. On our satellite radar imagery, I've drawn this black line. That is where an outflow boundary is kind of set up. That may shift a little bit more back to the north with our onshore flow heading into this afternoon, but if we see thunderstorms, I think it will be along this boundary. We also still have a cold front. I'll show you that in Futurecast, but this boundary is going to play a role in the potential for storm development later on. Of course, right now, though, we are just cloudy. More of the same weather. There's a look at those storm reports from last night there that moved through Live Oak County and northern B County. It did produce some hail. Hail is the greatest concern really the next 3 days. So today, tomorrow, and then even Saturday morning. Additionally, some of those thunderstorms could have some stronger wind gusts, 60 miles per hour. But right now we're in beautiful conditions. But we're cloudy, we're gloomy, we're humid, we're muggy, we're outside. 84 degrees by noon, feels like temperature 91. 91, yeah. We'll feel like we're in the 90s all day today. Those highs do look like they make it into the upper 80s with clearing skies. However, we're still going to be hazy. Here's a look at those storms starting to fire off. So we have the dry line that is set up kind of between Laredo and El Paso. You see storms forming on that dry line, and they're going to ride that outflow boundary into portions of the coastal bend. So where that outflow boundary sets up is where we could see some of those storms shaping up, but overall it's an isolated event and not all of us will see rain, and you see the storms weakening as they track to the east. So to the east. Here's a look at Futurecast, the bigger picture as the front is passing through. So I don't have the front drawn on this particular model. This is our high resolution rapid refresh model. Our in-house model that we have is going to be coming up, but this is the high resolution rapid refresh. It is a national model like the NAM and the GFS, and the National Weather Service works on these models. So anyway, San Antonio, we have the front moving through around 10 p.m. This model is trending a little later than our in-house data, but I think it falls somewhere in between there. A lot of times, once these storms develop along the front, they do tend to move a little faster, but it is so difficult to put in an exact timing of this front because it's going to stall. And as it stalls, it's going to slow down, and exactly where it stalls is still a bit of a question mark. But with that being said, this model is giving us hope for any of those late night activities on Friday night. So First Friday Art Walk, Buck Days Carnival, things like that should be dry for Corpus Christi. However, if this trends any earlier, I would say 10 p.m. you should be on alert. Art Walk should be coming to an end, so we should be in great shape there. But anyone heading to the carnival 10 p.m. to midnight, use caution, be able to check the weather app, maybe download our KAAA3 News app on your phone so you can take a look there. The news will be live at 10, so you can get the latest up-to-date information right there at 10 o'clock on your phone, even if you're downtown, which is so cool. Here are the trends. This video actually started with this graphic. We're back to it now. We are going to see the rain Friday night with the weak cold front. It is a weak cold front. I've been typing in, oh my goodness, we have a May cold front, but overall, other than the storms that it's going to produce, it is fairly weak. Our temperatures, we're talking low 80s, if we're lucky, upper 70s, so just a little cooler. The cold front timing looks to be Saturday 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So that is trending a little earlier. Just be on alert a little earlier. I still think Corpus Christi is after midnight. Beeville, you're likely going to be closer to 10 p.m. Precipitation, mostly overnight Saturday and overnight Friday into Saturday morning. More rain is expected on Saturday. Overall, it still looks like our rainfall totals are trending around a ½ inch or less. However, because these are going to be thunderstorms, where the updrafts are, there will be the tendency for higher rainfall totals. So that would be 1 to 2 inches of rain. How much rain are we looking at? Well, the watershed actually has a good shot at decent rainfall through next Wednesday. Overall, though, we really need even more than just 2 to 3 inches, right? But any rain is good rain. We could use more, though, to help fill those lake levels back up because they're just so low. When it comes to severe weather today, this is the outlook across the country from the Storm Prediction Center. We have marginal risk from Laredo up through San Antonio, Austin, and then Dallas. North areas of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and the Red River Valley are under that slight level 2 risk of severe storms. And that loops up into Ohio and even portions of the southeast. So that has to do with how these storms are forming. We get more of that cold front development into Friday. So this is a more textbook scenario on Friday when we have peak daytime heating between San Angelo and, say, Austin. That's where we are anticipating some of the strongest storms, the most scattered, more storm activity there. That's why that area is highlighted as a slight level 2 risk of severe weather. The rest of the Texas that is highlighted is under the level 1 marginal risk. And so as that front approaches the coastal bend, the storm should be weakening because of due to the lack of daytime heat, producing more energy and instability. Now, as we look ahead to Saturday morning, as the sun starts coming back up, this is when our risk starts to go back up. So a marginal level 1 risk between Corpus Christi and the valley. Additionally, with the front stalling somewhere in this area, it could lead to more rain for us if it stalls a little north. A lot of the trends right now have it closer to the valley, which would have more of the storm activity in the valley. But we're both in that risk of severe weather as of today for Saturday. I think most of that action is Saturday morning, but here's a look. Here's the dry line like I mentioned. We'll see storms develop along the dry line, and then wherever that outflow boundary winds up setting up, so this model has it closer to I-10, that's where a lot of the action will be into the late evening and overnight hours. Then the cold front is sliding south. This is 1:30 p.m. on Friday. This is 6 p.m. on Friday, passing through San Antonio. This particular model has the storms weakening. I don't really see this scenario playing out. I think it's more of a line of storms that stays pretty sustained and is a little bit slower than how this is showing things shaping out. I think I'm leaning more toward her than this. This is our in-house data. But I do want to point out the front kind of stalls. Then we see those thunderstorms closer to Brownsville. But again, if the front is a little bit more north, we'll have more of that thunderstorm activity into Corpus Christi. So a lot of events taking place this weekend, a lot of outdoor events related to buck days, crawfish with a cause, things like that. As of right now, around noon and into the evening, the afternoon and evening, it's mostly just a spotty shower. Thunderstorms may try to pop up. They weaken as that front moves further south and also weakens. But a warm front will begin to lift north into early next week. This will keep us unstable with a chance of unsettled weather into next week. This is now the European model, and it doesn't give Corpus Christi the best shot at rain next week. However, if we do see rain, I think it would be Tuesday, Wednesday, and then into Thursday is trending some of our higher rainfall for next week. But right now, I just want to emphasize, if the one thing I hope you take away from this live update is that our greatest risk of storms is overnight Friday into Saturday. Most of that action should be while you're asleep. However, late night Friday activities could be impacted pending an earlier arrival of that cold front. Saturday morning to right at lunchtime, we have a chance for some storms. As long as that front makes it to Brownsville, our storm activity will dwindle into the afternoon. Then we stay unsettled in next week. We stay roughly about normal for this time of year. That normal high, by the way, only getting hotter as we head into May. So a lot of fun there. But that's going to do it for this live update. Thank you for those that did watch. Hopefully it was helpful. We'll do another update tomorrow, since tomorrow is the cold front day. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith signing off for now. Thanks again.